against a bolt on the van door, and it broke his neck. And so, did the officers know that happened to him? Were the officers indifferent to severe injury? They're going to say that he was very uncooperative, and that he may have been high, and that he was on the floor of the van, and then they just put him back in his seat. They didn't beat him up. They didn't give him a so-called rough ride in the van. So, they're going to have pretty good representation. I'm sure the police union will see to that. Over the weekend, again, the prosecutor being celebrated in Baltimore, but now it's becoming clear as the clouds begin to part that she may have imperiled her own case with some of the remarks and charging decisions she made. You're listening to The Commute with Carlson. Of course, the lines are open at 206-421-5757. That's 206-421-5757 outside King County, 1-888-312-5757. Radio 570K.
family, flag, and freedom. That is all. This is Talk Radio 570 HWY.
To those that are angry, hurt, or have their own experiences of injustice at the hands of police officers, I urge you to channel the energy peacefully as we prosecute this case. I've heard your calls for no justice, no peace. However, your peace is sincerely needed as I work to deliver justice on behalf of Freddie Gray.
Now that's the prosecutor announcing her charges at that dramatic news conference where she, in a remarkably short period of time, decided to level these serious charges against the officers. Did that sound like a prosecutor to you, or did that sound like a politician? Now, we do elect our prosecutors in many places, including Baltimore. And Marilyn Mosby defeated her opponent, her white opponent, in part by saying that he had been too easy on cops who've been accused of wrongdoing by African Americans. And so, in a way, you could say that she was, keeping a campaign promise. But listening to her remarks, again, remember, prosecutors are supposed to be impartial. Just like we elect judges, but judges are supposed to be impartial. Did she sound impartial to you, or did she sound like a political activist holding public office? So, we'll get to your phone calls here real quickly. The Commute with Carlson Talk Radio 570 KVI. We're going to start in the town of Orting with William on the John Carlson Show this morning. Hi there, William. How are you, sir?
I'm well. How are you, Doc?
Fine. Go ahead.
Hey, I just got a tail end and then what you said just now. Do you believe that nobody should be accountable for the death of a man, especially when they're in police custody?
Oh, I think everyone should be accountable. I just don't know whether accountability means murder.
Well, he obviously went in the van healthy and came out dead.
Yeah.
So how is that not murder?
Well,
okay. Well, maybe they didn't maliciously go out to kill the man.
No. You ask a good question. He went in alive, came out dead. That by itself means that there should be accountability for the officers for in some way contributing to this man's death, unless it was a fluke, unless he did fall back and suffer a broken neck and the officers didn't know it.
Well, even if that happened, once you're in police custody, they're fully responsible for you and your well-being. If they didn't put you in the van or whatever he was in a manner that secured you, and they're driving around in a manner in which I have no idea how they were driving around, but I've been driving for quite a while now, and I imagine it takes a lot of maneuvering to flop you around and break your neck.
I think that...
I grew up while we didn't wear seatbelts as kids, and we never had broken necks.
Right. But some people did. I think that, again, the issue is not whether officers broke rules or even perhaps broke laws. The issue is whether or not they actually conspired to cause the death of someone. Whether they wanted him to die.
I think they probably wanted to hurt him, but I doubt they wanted him to die. I agree with that. I know the prosecutor definitely is out of line. She's an activist for sure, and she's spouting her left-wing dribble. But
yeah, when I talk about thinking that she overcharged the officers and that she sounds more like a politician than a prosecutor, that is not to say that the officers did everything right. That we know that they did some things wrong.
95 degrees.
But I'm looking at the charges and I'm saying, is she setting the stage for more rioting down the line when these officers are found not guilty of murder? The one officer in particular, the van driver. You see, if they had pulled the van over and beat this guy up because they were so sick of his, behavior, and because, let's say, he had kicked an officer or spat on an officer or something like that, and they were really angry. That's one thing. When they were pulling him over, it was apparently because he was out of control. And then when they saw that he was now on the ground, not moving, they just put him back, seated into his place in the van. Does that constitute negligence? Perhaps. But did the negligence cause his death? Let alone, did they have a motive in mind to severely injure or kill him? That's what you need to do for murder. Let's go to Pete real quickly. Pete, we got about 30 seconds. Go ahead.
Yeah, hey, as far as her diatribe at the end, I think that's all purely politically motivated. Second of all, the lawsuit, I believe, once they find out and the truth and the policemen get acquitted of most, if not all, the charges, it'll be setting a precedent in favor of the police and prosecuting them and whatnot, and how they do their business.
No, I think so too. And I wonder if she may have actually planted the seeds for future unrest in Baltimore for that very reason.
Talk Radio 570 KVI. John Carlson.
This is an exciting time. I agree that the Republicans ought to run. engage in jihad. The judge ruled that though he did lie, there was insufficient evidence to conclude that the crime was directly connected to international terrorism. So, no jail time, 3 years probation, fined $600. They have not yet identified the second gunman. Again, these are the two guys who pulled up outside this event in a suburb of Dallas, Garland, and began firing. They wounded a security guard, but Garland police exchanged gunfire, took both these guys down. So he is a wannabe no more. You know, Ben Carson has announced for president. He announced yesterday, and he said he was an unconventional candidate for president. And no, I got to tell you, he sure began his campaign in an unconventional way. He didn't do it with a, gauzy video and a tweet like Hillary. He didn't do it with an energetic, effervescent campaign announcement at a historic hotel with a roaring crowd like Marco Rubio. Instead, he did it in a television interview with a Florida TV station. He said quote, "Many people have suggested to me that I should run for president even though I'm not a politician. I began to ask myself, why are people clamoring for me to do this? I'm not 100% sure politics, as usual, is going to save us." So then he said, I decided to run for president. And that's it. With that, he is now in the race. Ben Carson could be a very interesting political figure in this country, especially in the next 6 months. I will tell you why. I'm going to predict right now. I think we are going to see racial unrest, rumbling, and perhaps rioting in cities throughout America this summer. I think, to use what will be a much overused expression in the next few months, we have a long, hot summer ahead of us. These episodes here that trigger so much protesting, so much violence, it doesn't take much. I suggested last week that it's not police. The root of all this is not the police. The root of all this is that we continue to see in the last 5 years low-income areas, particularly low-income, heavily African-American sectors of American cities, that are falling further and further behind. Unemployment among African-Americans generally is twice the national average. In some of these communities, it's at Depression-era levels. I don't need to tell you about the schools. Even though in Baltimore, as an example, third highest financed school district in America, and they have dysfunctional schools. The most highly financed schools in America, I believe, are Washington, D.C., and they have one of the most dysfunctional school systems. It's not that they're not throwing enough money at the schools, it's how that money is being spent. So when you look at, especially in the age of Obama, where I think African Americans said, good, things are now really going to get, especially for us, they're going to get better. We have someone who directly relates to us. And it just hasn't happened. And I think it's created a culture, not a climate, an actual culture of simmering discontent and frustration. And I think all it takes is an incident with police, an episode, and it triggers an outpouring of violence and anger. And we've seen that in Ferguson, we've seen that in New York, we've seen that in Baltimore. I think we're gonna see it elsewhere. And the reason I bring up Ben Carson is Ben Carson, unlike anyone else in this race, and unlike President Obama, he really did grow up in a community like this. He grew up in a single-parent home in Detroit. He said that he could have easily gone the wrong direction. That he actually stabbed a kid when he was a young teenager, but the kid, I think, had a belt buckle that blocked, that prevented him from getting injured. And at the age of 33, Ben Carson, whose mom made him read every day after school, even though she couldn't read, by the age of 33, was the youngest division director in Johns Hopkins hospital history. Where's Johns Hopkins Hospital Medical Center located? Why, of course, in Baltimore. It will be interesting to hear what he has to say throughout the spring and summer about the issue of American culture, accountability, about how to give hope to the hopeless. The environment into which he is announcing his candidacy is actually almost tailor-made for an outside politician to say, here's why we really do need someone completely from the outside. When you hear, governors saying no more politics as usual, they mean, marginally different from usual. We need completely different politics from usual. Now, you probably haven't heard this because most of Ben Carson's momentum is below the radar. He's raised the Draft Carson effort, has raised over $15 million. By way of comparison, that's more than the Draft Hillary Clinton Political Action Committee raised. He's gotten 500,000 people to sign petitions urging him to run. He has 30,000 active volunteers across America. And he's known for telling it like it is. It will be I think that Ben Carson will eclipse Mike Huckabee as a candidate appealing to what are called the social issues conservative, the religious right, however you want to characterize them. There's just a lot of appeal for someone like Ben Carson, and what I want to suggest is that with all this discontent that I think is going to boil over, someone like Ben Carson will be listened to more than he otherwise would be. He is the one candidate running for president in either party who knows what it is like to be poor, black, and growing up in an area where things are getting worse rather than better. That area, of course, being Detroit. So, be alert for what you are hearing from Ben Carson. Let's go from unrest that I think is going to happen in many cities in this country, in other cities, to the unrest that Seattle police had to deal with right here over the weekend. The May Day melee. It wasn't nearly as bad as years past because of the incredibly impressive work done by Seattle police, but nevertheless, there was still damage done and there were still officers hurt. Here's KOMO's Luke Ducey.
Air 4 above the beginning of the anti-capitalist march along Broadway through Capitol Hill. More than 200 armed with signs and flags, and then it happened. Just after 7, police say a protester attacked one of their own, and on the ground, more officers rushed in as flashbang grenades flew into the crowd. 2 protesters arrested, and this officer injured. A medic held his arm. Protesters' ammo left behind on the street, canned food, and rocks. Cops arrested 2 people as more officers swooped in and divided the protesters, and that appeared to be the one tactic that disrupted the whole protest. Over the the next few hours, demonstrators tried over and over again to join forces. They headed down Pike Street, then over to Olive, and then toward the city core, but officers blocked every move, including the on-ramp to I-5. Lines of bike cops, some wearing helmets and extra protection, others unleashing pepper spray. They repelled the crowd back to where they came from, arresting more and more along the way. Police say this woman refused to move back and confronted police. This demonstrator knocked an officer over. Cops tackled him and cuffed him. In the end, officers say they confiscated weapons like these, a bottle of paint, a wrench, and a machete. They also corralled every demonstrator back onto the Seattle Central campus, where the hundreds of protesters dwindled to dozens. The last gasp of small fires on the sidewalk, but even those eventually burned themselves out.
Again, great work done by our men and women in blue, but you've got to ask yourself, why is this allowed to happen year after year? We're not talking about peaceful demonstrators who are provoked and things get out of control. These guys don't even have a cause. I mean, it's billed as an anti-capitalist march, but it really is a carnival to see how many windows you can break, how much vandalism you can commit, how many cops you can hurt. I would like to know why, and this is not, hyperbole. I would like to know why someone should be allowed to think that they can go downtown with a club and a rock and not think they're going to get a nightstick upside the head.
It occurred to me over the weekend, maybe what we need to do is we need to send a bill for all the property damage, all the police hours, and overtime, if it's overtime, and let's send a bill to the administrators and faculty at Seattle Central Community College, because that's where this emanates from. And Shama Sawant was a quote-unquote economics professor there, economics instructor there.
Give the students a refund for that one.
Exactly. And this is all her anti-capitalism rhetoric. It's probably been going on longer than
it's interesting.
Shama Sawant's been around.
I'm not sure I've gotten wind of her statement condemning the anarchists and the rioters.
But let's, because, I mean, seriously, that's the proximate cause in Seattle. That's where they all muster. That's where they all start. They even actually, laughably, destroyed some of the artwork on the Seattle Central campus up there on Capitol Hill. That's the kind of regard they have for all this stuff. But no, let's send it, and the city's not going to pay it. I don't think that the students should pay it in tuition, but I think it should come out of the paychecks of all those faculty members, all those administrators. Well, because they're the ones who facilitate this stuff in Seattle.
I don't know what percentage of these rioters are actual students, or whether they just use the campus as a plaza ground for for gathering.
I'm sure it's all the students that have dropped out, probably,
but or couldn't get in. But here's a suggestion I want to make, and this is where the news media can help. Have you noticed that these anarchists crave anonymity? They communicate furtively with social media accounts that are either closed or heavily restricted, and they wear masks and they are clad all in black. They clearly don't like the sunshine of publicity. So you know what? Here is where the media could do so much good. These guys have to go, be arraigned. They make appearances in court. Let's find out more about them. Who are